Ah, bam, hello. Hi, hi, hi. Look, I have some new glasses. Super, super dirty. Super dirty. But I want to control this, so I'm gonna like clean my glasses so I can see you. Well, I can't really see you because it's the camera. Anyway, we're starting off today. Like, today is the weekend, it's Saturday. I'm super excited because it's the weekend and I've been having time off, but in between my jobs because I'm on my way to New Orleans. You know, I talk a lot about, like, I don't know. You're not your thoughts, okay? And that's a very, 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 very interesting observation, you know, observation. What is another observation? Let me get straight to it. Is that like when have you ever thought about control? Control. And what do you control? And what have you learned to control? And it's a really interesting thing to be able to recognize that you can actually let go of control. And that's really, really challenging and hard for the ego because it's like, I want to control this. And when you control this, you control, like, you know, it goes back to your thoughts and how the need to control everything, which is something that we all probably share, we all do, because that whole perfection thing is related to the control. And I have control on the external things. You think I have control on the external things. I have control over, which we really don't have control over anything. But if we really, really think about it, like, that's really a trap. Because I realize that I can be fearless and I can be vulnerable, and because vulnerability is king for me, it's like, it's paramount, like more than anything. And so that's what I share, because, and that vulnerability, being vulnerable has taught me a lot about my thought patterns and my thoughts and all that, and my control. My control, like, you know, like I can control people's reactions in some kind of way. I thought I could, like, by keeping myself in shape or going to the gym. I have control over that, and there's nothing wrong with these things. But I think if you think that that's your identity, then we're kind of lost. Because there's no control over anybody or any situation. No control over people, no control over reactions of people, no control over circumstance, no control over the weather, no control over your life. We think we have some kind of control. We have some kind of control because we've, you know, bought into the plan that if the control is that, you know, the retirement, we're all gonna retire when we're like 65 years old, and then, or whatever, universally doesn't, like, eventually somehow some countries are better equipped than other countries. Definitely in America, we are definitely not. That is another form of, like, controlling us, because we have to control and pay our taxes, and all those things are something you can't really escape. Or you can't really escape the opinions of other people or the judgments of other people, and you do that yourself, and that you realize that your judgments and opinions are so shallow. But that's control, you know, because you believe so much in your own ability to choose, and you think you're choosing automatically. I think you're choosing consciously, and actually it's instant, or how I don't know a fucking thing. And if you're watching this, I'm not here to, let me just say that, because I think that's interesting, to control the way you think. You will control the way you hear this message. Control is everywhere, and control over us, control over blah blah blah, and it's all affected. It's all about interesting to connect everything about bullying. Bullying is also about control, because it's like, I see something, or the perpetrator sees something that they don't agree with, so they want to control that. And the way of controlling that is to bully it and to push it back in the corner, so I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to deal with it because it's like dealing with that, like, you know, because I can't control myself, and I feel like I'm in control, so I'm gonna run everything. I'm gonna make sure that everything I disagree with is within my control, so I can feel more safe. So in a way, the way the conditioning has arrived, has come upon the day when you realize that less control is a better way of, actually promotes much more happiness, and, you know, that destination. Like, happiness is current, you know what I mean? And less control over your partner, less control over yourself, less control over your thoughts, less control over your thoughts. Like, there's no such thing as that control over your thoughts. It's just, they're there. You don't have to control something that needs to be controlled, that doesn't need to be controlled. Like, and that's, you know, for lack of a better word, letting go is not the same as control. And I guess you could see that, you know what I mean? I take control over my thoughts. I take control. No, you allowance is different from control. Allowance and, you know, am I making sense to you? Anyway, so the less control, the better I realize. And that is every moment, especially when you recognize and you feel, you're like, I can actually let go of the control of that thought, or what that thought is going to control me to make a reaction that could not be in my best interest. Now, sometimes, you know, like, sometimes it happens, absolutely. Like, we're human beings. Like, we all, like, want to control everything so we can feel more safe. And vulnerability is so scary. Like, really, really scary to take risk, you know? And that's why people like to, you know, as an artist, like to control their work, to control their image, and this is how we live, you know? I believe, you know, like any kind of control over the internet of like, I'm a free bird. Like, basically, you know, like, you know, if I wanted to post something naked, like, or vulnerable, I don't know, like control, there's control, like image, like that part, I don't want to control my image. I have no interest in controlling my image. I've been doing that for so long, it doesn't make sense to try to control, because that would be about, and I know how people are. People can judge, and, you know, and that's gonna happen, definitely. And at the end of the day, it's really about, you can't control that. You can't control the opinions, you can't control the fact that businesses do not want you to have tattoos and piercings, and like you have to have this image, all that kind of thing. It's so like interesting to recognize the fact that you actually agree with that just so you can have a job. And then, you know, that's all about control, about how people see each other, have control. It's full of that, and that's accepting, that's part of being bullied. Being bullying also too. So let me reinstate also too, it's not a problem. It's not a problem about the feeling of control, but there's the opposite thing of like live and let live. You know, like my little girl's here. You don't see her booty hole? Look at her booty hole. Anyway, she doesn't have control over that, bless her heart. Anyway, so you know what I'm saying? It's just really a beautiful day to let go of control how you think other people should be. And also yourself, like how your mind thinks that you should be this way or that way. Let go of that, and that's just really a beautiful day. And everybody, there's so much more space for that choice of bliss and joy, because yeah, you're not controlling anything, so there's no need of that. And you can't control, you know, like what I realized also is control over, like when you control your image, you're trying to control how people see you. And you know, this is just a dead end, and I've done that, like I do that, and that's what, like, it's just kind of, I'm here to say, it just is a dead end, because then you don't feel this kind of birthright of joy, because you're so controlled. And that charade, you know, I've talked about it before, the charade of, and the dance we do around each other of rejection and passive aggressiveness and joy and happiness and love and all of these kind of like labels that are relating to our relationships to each other and ourselves, and all that's about control. And you see the big game, and when you let go of control, it's really, really scary, because you find yourself in a situation where it's unfamiliar, because you've been controlling everything your whole life, and that you control your image, your career, your profession, and we've been taught to do that. And if you don't do that, it's really scary, because then you have to feel vulnerable, and you have to feel like, you know, but how do things advance in life? How do things advance in life, in your own life, is like by letting go of control, because you cannot control anything. You cannot control when you're gonna die, you cannot control when you can, there's very, very little that actually that you can control. You can't control that someone's, you know, gay or straight, or like, or you can't control these things, and like you're trying to like tell people that they're wrong so you can feel better, and all that control. You see how the rat race goes? Nothing is real, it's all illusional, and let go of control, and that's one of the best things. And be grateful that you can do that. Attitude of gratitude is also one of the things. Have a beautiful, less controlling day, and just look at, am I controlling this? Am I controlling? Can I let this go? Does this bring me uncomfort feeling? Does this bring me vulnerability? Let go and let live, and just be free. Control, freedom is very different. Love you. Bye.